the fact that we can sit back, like you said, and you know, think about what we're doing and be self-aware.
Use our brains.
Yeah, we have the ability to break through our instincts.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here's a good example.
Okay, like that's like saying I'm not saying we can't break through our instinct. That's the whole point. That's what I try to make, is to take an animal and make it not an animal. Make it like someone who's selfish, like an animal, and make them not. And our brains, our intelligence, people make us allowed to do that. What I'm saying is that's great, but at the core of everybody is an animal. It's not that they can't break away from that or not. We can't like change who we are. But when people are their backs against the wall, the thing we can fall back on is that animal.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's what I'm trying to say. So so in general, basically, people are animals.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So so you're taking what I'm saying and make it like that's all we are. Well, that's what we really are. But at the same time, we can break away from that. Yeah, because we're intelligent. So instead of saying, "I'm gonna fuck this chick," hold on, let's take her on a date. Let's figure out who she is and maybe see if I even want to. So that's when that human brain comes in. But I'm saying at the core is an animal. Okay, that's simple as that. Like, you can't get any simpler than
Well,
that.
all right. Then what's an animal, Keith? What is an animal? Define an animal.
An animal is
See, now this is where philosophy comes into play. Like you keep saying animal, animal, animal. But what is an animal then, Keith? Define an animal for me. What is it? What is an animal? Let's break this down.
I don't know. Like
Look at that. Look at that.
when I use animal as like a
Can't-
broad term of like what other creatures on this earth, like how they act, like
You talking about an ant? You talking about a goat? What are you talking about?
any of them.
An organism with a.
An organism with a will to survive. How about that?
Mhm.
Or an organism that wants to live. It has
that has the
they act on.
urge to keep itself alive. There you
Well,
go.
there's a lot of even some bacteria have an urge. To
exactly.
survive,
So
don't they?
they act the same way as us.
Yeah. There's no.
Never Joe Rogan. Never Joe Rogan said that exact same
Anything
thing.
that
Like,
wants
what
to
about
keep
people?
itself alive
People are an
has
infectious
the
bacteria that's
the
spread
urge
across the
to
planet.
do certain
We
things.
grow, we reproduce, we take over, and we just keep doing it, keep doing it. That's what we are. So that's what I'm telling you. That's at the simplest form. That's what we are. You're trying to sit there and say we're advancing that. We are, but
Keith,
not.
Keith, if you're a bacteria, why don't you just go jump from the car right now? What are you doing everything in your life for?
So
That's why
he's
people commit suicide.
successful and he can attract.
They live on that
attract a
hope,
mate,
like,
take care
I
of
want
a
to stay
family.
alive. Maybe I can change the world or whatever. But that's what people say. But some people kill themselves because they feel like, well, what the fuck's the point? I'm just gonna die in the end anyway. Let's just fucking die now, right?
This is why this stuff drives people insane in the membrane. Yeah, insane in the brain.
All right.
Let's break this conversation.
This is getting on really long now. So
Yeah, no.
it's gonna be a long ass podcast. I'm talking like 4 parts.
Yeah.
So I mean, we should probably wrap it up here. Any last thoughts?
Are you gonna try to condense it to 45?
Fuck no. I'm just gonna upload it as it is.
And
Just break it up into 4 parts.
into
Yeah,
four.
so we
Well,
talk about, like,
what else you can talk
advice
then?
for
I
your
mean,
people.
so I
What?
guess what we're thinking here is that
Sex can wait, masturbate.
Yeah, sex can wait, masturbate. That's good.
It's not a sin. It's not a sin.
That's right. Not a sin. Not a sin. Watch bitch slap.
Okay, well, I'll say one last thing. We're talking about the. You're talking about how people have like all these instincts and stuff like that. One thing I'll say about religion is there's a lot of natural instincts that we have, like our physically, like when it comes to like sex and stuff like that. That religions put like stigmas on, like, oh, you're a bad person if you get a boner and you play with your dick. That's a sin. Like, no, it's not. There's a lot of natural stuff we can't deny that we do have a lot of instincts, like he said, I believe, but there's more to life than that. We're not just robots going around acting on impulse all the time. And I don't know, Keith. All I'm gonna say is, you guys, here's one thing. Again, I recommend, if you never had a philosophy class, to take one. Is just by hearing you guys talk and some of the stuff you're saying, is you're viewing the world based on your own personal experiences. Whereas there's other people in the world who believe stuff totally different than you haven't explored yet. I'm telling you. Like, you're talking about people.
Right, but I study philosophy. Like I've read many philosophy
Yeah, but
books and many philosophy.
A lot of
works.
stuff you say runs in circles.
But I'm taking it's like right now. Like, there's different viewpoints, different people, and I'm just saying like what I feel. And what I feel is, I understand what they're coming from.
But here's the thing. You can't. Here's what you do. This is your ultimate mistake, Keith. You can't take what you feel and put that out there and say there's no other way. This is it, because
Right.
that's just your perspective.
Right.
When there's thousands of other
But if
perspectives
you
out
hear, yeah,
there.
right. If I've heard the other perspective and you still feel like this is right, then what else is there like?
But you can't like look, keep like you were talking about dying and how like people have like this will to survive, but there's some people who don't give a shit, like and people who aren't like all like hectic. Like you're talking about animals fighting for their life, like a soldier about to die in battle, going crazy, like oh my god. You know that's like a Western mentality. Well, you look at like some Asian guys, like a samurai, for example, about to die in battle, and he's calm and doesn't even care he's gonna die. He's like, all right, I'm gonna die. Like they're at peace with it.
Right.
So I mean, you can't judge that. Oh, it's our instinct to survive because some people, it's not their instinct to survive. As crazy as that's, I mean, all living creatures do have an instinct to survive. But the thing you don't understand is like a spiritual sense that like you know you don't have faith in anything. But people who do have religion and have this spiritual faith that gives them strength, like creatures do have an instinct to survive, yes. But you can put your mind to a certain level, like again, like a samurai, where you can transcend your instincts. That is an ability humans have, and that's something I believe goes in like the spiritual realm. Whatever, we're not going to get on that right now, but you can transcend your natural instincts with your mind. Your mind exists outside of your body. Like you know, we're talking about like some kind of like monk, like a Zen monk who doesn't eat. Obviously, all living creatures have to eat. How do these people go and fast, not eat food for like days, and you know survive? Like
Yeah.
there's a certain like power that it defies logic, it defies science, and that's what faith is, and that's what religion is
Yeah, I was
believing
gonna
in
say.
something that you can't, you know?
Yeah, I mean, how does a monk protest by lighting himself on fire and staying perfectly calm?
Yeah, you know, like how those fucking Buddhist guys like balance themselves on spear points. You know, it's stuff that defies our scientific means and our logic, and that's why I say like I'm a huge fan of logic. I love logic, but logic takes you to a certain point. Like, you know, say you have argument A and argument B, and there's logic for both arguments. There comes a point where there's like enough scientific method and evidence that supports either argument. There's a point where you have to decide, okay, I'm going to choose this side, but it's like a leap of faith because there's no, you know, that's the problem with humans again is we try scientifically, we try controlling everything. We want scientific answers. We want to test tube everything. You have everything like you know, measure everything with numbers and set scales. But the world, like again, there is no set limits to things. It's you know what I mean? Like it's just like if people say, here's an example. It's a dumb example, but say you go to a movie and watch a movie. It's our instinct to judge things by numbers nowadays. What do you give that movie on a scale of 1 to 10? And I don't never do that bullshit. If someone asks me, what do you give that, a 1 to 10? I'm like, no, I don't fucking do that shit. It's either you like it or you don't like it. And I think it's the same way, like with a lot of these principles that we try attaching numbers to scientifically. Like, oh well, what's the boiling point of water? Blah blah blah. Like, you know, is it gonna boil or is it not gonna boil? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to,
Well,
you know.
yeah. What are you? I'm sure to say two things. One, first off, I'm a stubborn jackass, and my views are probably not going to change. I don't care. Two, when you on that subject, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite books is Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, and in that book, when he goes through hell and ascends. Wow, wow,
Like my
I'm
penis.
blanking on it. I'm fucking blanking on it. Purgatory. There we go. Holy fuck! And he goes to purgatory. His guide, his person who accompanies him is Virgil, and Virgil represents human reason or logic. And he states that very clearly. Dante obviously believes that logic can only take you so far to a certain point, and he can get you through hell and he can get you through purgatory, but he can't get you into heaven because heaven is a belief. Like heaven is a faith. And he says like he gets to the point in the story. He's like, hey, I can't. I basically just says to him, I can't follow you. This. I can't go with you. You have to take the jump. And then that's when he finds Beatrice, and she takes him the rest of the way. She just has that face, and Beatrice represents like divine love and righteousness, like holiness, all that kind of stuff. And he takes that leap and finds her and continues on his way into heaven. But he has to have that faith first. It's like a test. So it's like I understand what Tom's saying, and I do believe what he's saying. Logic only takes you so far. But at the same time, like I don't know, like
All right, go ahead. Well, you finish what you're saying real quick. And
no, I'm good. Go ahead, Tom.
It's just the thing with religion. It's really funny, and it's one of the oldest philosophical concepts is what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because, like I said, I'm the kind of person where we gave that metaphor earlier of a wave. I think the way human beings can be at the most peace is if they're at a 0 point. Like the world, physically and spiritually, I think, is a wave. That's how I describe the universe. Yin yang, sort of the same principle. It's going to go in a circle. You're going to get your high points and your low points, and the only way to be really happy in life is to be at that center point. But as far as religion goes, it's again like almost like if you want to put a physical image to it, it'd be like the yin yang is what came first, the chicken or the hen, or the chicken and egg. You know what I mean? Chicken and egg.
Chicken or the hen.
Way to fuck that one up. Sorry guys, I've been drinking a few beers in the middle of this podcast.
Couple
No,
shots.
I'm joking, but I should be drinking some beers. Hey, eat, drink, and be merry. There's a religious concept for you Christians out there.
Religion is full of great stories and wine. I'm not sure about you which one came first, but I'm guessing the wine and then the crazy stories.
But yeah, so basically, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I think you have to have faith and logic because you can't have one without the other. Like, faith can only get you so far, but you can't just be a mindless animal. Like Keith was saying in the very beginning, religion can control people. You can't just believe people tell you all the time because people might take advantage of you. And that's the negative side. So you have to be able to think for yourself on the one hand, but then when you do think for yourself and you do get all these facts and you use logic, you will get to this point where, okay, I got to take this leap of faith. Because logic sometimes gets you to, again, in this scientific world we live in, people want to have everything fact, fact, fact. It's a fact that water boils at so many degrees. But not everything can be broken down to facts like that. And there's certain points where logic takes you to a certain point and you say, I believe this to be true, or this possibility seems to be the most true out of these two choices. So you need faith and you need logic, and that's all I'm going to say. But what comes first? Do you believe in something and then get the logic for it to back up what you were taught to believe to begin with, or do you use logic to believe certain things? You know what I mean? Like what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
The egg.
Very, very true.
So,
I
Well, I
believe
think
the egg came
we
first.
should be wrapping this up here soon. So, I mean, final thoughts from Zach or Adam?
I think the egg came first.
Roger
Adam?
that.
I don't know. It's a
He
lot
fell
to
asleep.
talk about, and I feel
It
like
is.
we could argue about this forever
Yeah,
because people
we
have
could.
been, and
Yeah.
everyone
Thousands of years.
is entitled to what they believe in their opinions.
Yes. Most definitely.
I don't know. I guess we all should just have to agree to disagree here because.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We're just discussing it.
Right.
I mean, it's not like
right.
we're trying to persuade everyone to believe otherwise. We're just having a good debate, good conversation about what we all believe in.
and I think it's fitting that your podcast is so long.
Yeah.
It is definitely a controversial subject.
It is.
It fits what we're talking about. But I have to say, guys, it comes back to what I was saying in the beginning. You take your little fucking jug, whatever shape it is, and you pick up that water. We all have our different jugs we picked it up with. So there you go. And that's my point. The substance is what's important, not the specific substance.
Not the perspective.
I mean, even if you're all right, real quick. See, we can go about this for hours and hours. We keep going on and on. But even among one religion, say Christianity, how many different sects are there? Is he the Son of God? Is he not the Son of God? Do we pray to 3D statues like Eastern Orthodox won't pray to statues or there's so many little specifics. That's not important. What's important is the essence of the religion. Even among for argument's sake, we've been talking about being atheist or not atheist, but even if say if you are religious. Say, we'll use Christians for example. All Christians believe in Jesus, but it's just, I just said the specifics that people argue about. Was he God? Was he not? Again. But what's really important, and I'll point this out there for you Christians out there, is what's really important. Does it matter if God was, Jesus was really the Son of God? Does it matter if, this or that? What the most important part about Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, was his message, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to religion. Is it's not the specifics. It doesn't matter what shape the water takes. It's the essence of the water. It's the essence of religion that what you're believing in. So
Very true.
Yes.
Well, I think with that we should wrap it up.
Sounds about good.
sex can wait, masturbate. Don't forget.
If you're gonna go into battle, make sure you wear a battle rattle and bring a battle buddy. All right, this is Keith,
This is Zach.
Zach,
Adam.
And your special guest. I like you. I'm a Borat.
that would be Tom Dexter, our special guest. And we're Watership Studios. We're signing off.
I come back for a sequel.
Everyone, have a good night. Catch you next podcast.
Happy ending.